Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 11th Emerging Growth and 2nd Emerging Growth and Investors Hub Conference. So in case you missed the previous conference, Emerging Growth teamed with Investors Hub, one of the top investing websites and apps providing streaming market data tools and over 30,000 message boards focused on public companies, cryptocurrencies, and so much more. And it was a great success. So welcome to the second one. I'm Anna Berry. I'm going to be your host today. So just a few notes for all of those attending. This is a live continuous event. It begins now and it runs until 2:45 Eastern time. And then we switch over to the next company. So you're going to see a black screen for a brief moment. Don't go anywhere. It's just us moving over. So remember, if you do experience downtime for more than a minute or two, just refresh your browser and everything should work properly again. So as always, we have an exciting lineup of amazing companies in a wide range of growth sectors presenting to you today. Now, our previous conferences and all conferences to come, they're going to be uploaded to the Emerging Growth Conference YouTube channel. So please subscribe, youtube.com/Emerging Growth Conference. So during each company's presentation, you can submit questions through the webinar module, and the presenters may attempt to address as many of those questions throughout or at the end of their presentation. So after today's event at 2:45 Eastern Time, you get to be redirected to the registration page for the next conference. So stay on to reserve your spot early. Now, today we have 8 companies presenting. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first. We have Paypolitan. It's a cryptocurrency which trades under the symbol EPAN and is the all-in-one payment solution combining traditional and DeFi banking. Please welcome the CEO, Nils Tharandt Ortiz. Welcome, Nils.
Good morning, Anna. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, we're very excited to hear your presentation. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me again. Good morning, America. And before I start, I introduce myself. So I'm a trained lawyer. I'm in DeFi and telecommunications for the past 20 years as a manager. And I'm also a frequent host as a blockchain and crypto expert on KRN4, Bloomberg TV, Newsmax TV, and last but not least, Fox Business. So before I start with the presentation and after we have time for some questions, I will start with the latest recording interview I gave a month ago at the one of the biggest DeFi and AI conferences in Dubai with Jane King, who's a very famous NASDAQ anchor. And let's start with that video then.
Hello there, I'm Jane King. We're at Dubai, the AIBC conference, Artificial Intelligence and Blockchain. And with me, Nils Tharandt Ortiz, the CEO of Paypolitan, who I've talked to on Zoom for the past year. And it's finally I'm meeting you in person. It's really great, like, to meet you in person and, and to be here, to be like socializing again. It's a great thing.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, so now you've told me the story about Paypolitan, how you're kind of disrupting the payment industry. And the last time we spoke, you had a new app. How's that going?
Yeah, first of all, I'm also very happy to be here to meet with you in person finally. So after this year of pandemic, only with Zoom, so we have a real camera team here.
Yeah.
We have a real studio, so I thought it would be New York at the NASDAQ.
I know,
so
someday.
finally we end up in Dubai,
Yes.
which is more or less in the middle, right?
Right.
No.
Yes.
Maybe we should revise my geography classes afterwards. So yeah, we released our Paypolitan app, which is a payment app in May. So end of April on Google Play, and on Apple Store we added it beginning of May. It took a bit longer because the procedure of releasing an app on Apple is a bit longer because they do loads of testings. But it's good because it's like kind of a label for an app. When you pass through Apple, then your app is solid and sound, and people really can use it without any concern. So we started with the DeFi features. I mean, we have a wallet. You can connect external wallets like a MetaMask, a Wallet Connect, or other wallets. You can stake your token, our token, either with a fixed duration of 6 months and an ALP of 79.9%, or you set your own duration. Could be a day, could be a week, could be a month, could be 3 days, and 4 hours.
For the staking.
Exactly,
Right,
the staking part we have implemented. And that is for, and the feedback was very positive.
Now, explain. So there's a lot of people out there. We've heard a lot about Bitcoin, but they still don't totally understand how it all works. So walk me through it. Like, pretend like you're talking to my mom. So she downloads the Paypolitan app, and then what? What happens after that?
Right. So the last feature we're going to implement will be the cash payment. But before that, let's say you go to Walmart and you want to buy a laptop for $500. So you can choose either paying this with one of your bank accounts you're connected to our app, or you decide $500 is maybe a bit too much. I'm going to use an instant credit. So that means in that moment you click on that button, there's a background check of your credibility, if you're eligible for a credit or not.
Okay.
That is instant. And then you have a credit frame and say, okay, I want to have $500. That is in token X amount, right? And the collateral, so the guarantee of that loan, of the credit you will get from us, you will use our token, the EPAN token. That means our token is having a new adoption. It will giving at a totally different value also for the users, because so far you can sell it, you can buy it on some exchanges, you can stake it, but in the future you can use EPAN token, our Paypolitan token, as a collateral in order to get a credit.
To get a loan, okay. And then how do I get EPAN tokens?
Well, EPAN you can buy on Uniswap, on Bitforex and Galaxy, and we have some new exchanges coming up until the summer.
Okay, and all of that value is stored then in the app, and then I can use that to make purchases at a Walmart, just like through my phone, like it would read.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, because of the phone, the smartphone has an NFC chip. So the NFC chip is communicating like a credit card or like a debit card with a payment terminal. Mm-hmm. So we don't have to have a deal with the store, with the merchant, with the retailers. It's simply by direct debit, the same logic. If you have direct debit card, it simply goes either from your bank account, in this case it comes from your wallet.
Okay, well that's what I was going to ask, because I can see me going to Walmart and going, I want to pay with this, and the person being like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but they don't even know.
They don't even have to know.
Got it. Okay,
they simply get a signal that the payment is validated, and the merchant will get the payment in US dollars on his bank account.
Okay, all right, so the first step, download the app.
Exactly.
Experiment around with it a little bit and just try it.
2 minutes.
Just
2 minutes,
yes.
you set it up, and that's it.
Okay.
Plug and play.
Well, I am looking forward to more updates as you add more exchanges and all the things. Every time I talk to you, there's something new. So
all right.
It's great to meet you again, Nils.
Great to meet you, Jane, and see you next time in New York on the NASDAQ,
that
right?
That would be wonderful. Yes. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you as well for joining us. We'll be back.
So that was a video so far. I think it gives a very good summary of what Paypolitan is and what we are planning to do. Of course, was in the context of a more advanced level. I've spoken to Jane King a lot. We had loads of interviews since last year. So she was following the development of Paypolitan and EPAN. And now I will start the presentation of our PowerPoint presentation, so I can share more insight facts with you. So can you see the presentation? Okay, very good. So let's start, of course, with the beginning and not the last slides. So in 2 words, people always ask me, give us an elevator pitch, what is Paypolitan? Paypolitan is a fusion, a mix of Apple Pay and MetaMask, I would say. It's a payment tool, it's a payment app. You can download it in Apple Store and Google Play. We will have cash payments at the end of the year. And as of today, we have a bunch of DeFi features. That means you can stake our token, you can stake other tokens. We have a wallet, you can do crypto payments, and very soon this summer you could get an instant credit. But let me walk you through the different stages and why we decided to do that. So our motivation is very simple. There's a huge potential. Especially the millennials or Generation Z. There are over 2 billion people among those. As you could see, I'm not a Generation Z and millennial, but I see that generation is actually growing with one thing. Everyone has it, the smartphone. So I could not imagine any youngster in its 20s without any smartphone. You're connected everywhere. You have Wi-Fi everywhere. You're on social media. I would say it's almost a 24/7 presence, and that is very good because for this generation, it's almost natural to do any transactions with a phone. So virtual cards, as we have them today with Apple Pay, for instance, were the first step. But we're going beyond that. So we are going over the need of adding a credit card. And I will show you now how we do that. Then came an opportunity that is great. That is PSD2. That is a European directive that is valid in the European Union. European Union is a union of 450 million people living in the majority of European countries. And the European Union imposed what is called open banking. What is open banking? Why is it so important? Because that opened the door for fintech companies like us. Before, as a fintech, like even Apple Pay, you have to go to the bank and said, okay, I want to have transactions from your users, and said, yeah, you can do that, but we will take a commission fee. And our commission fee is X. Secondly, the banks before could select who they let in and who they do not let in. So there was a filter, there was a pre-selection that made it very difficult for any fintech company like ours to get into the banks. Right now with open banking, it's very simple. The banks have to open their user bases and bank accounts to any fintech. We don't pay any commission fee anymore. And we can access all the bank accounts of users who use our app. And that is very huge. So then we decided to use blockchain to secure cash payments. Blockchain is a technology, it's a distributed ledger that is used, you might know that, for cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin, for instance, is a very prominent example of a cryptocurrency. But we were going beyond of crypto because I had a look at it, and mostly if you see payment solutions with blockchain is mainly for crypto. But crypto is only one part, is still a little fragment, it's a niche market. I thought it's much more interesting to use blockchain technology and its security in order to do cash payments, to secure cash payments. Because what happens with this blockchain? Let's say there are 20 million people in a blockchain, or let's say 1 million people in one blockchain. So whenever there's a transaction, you need a number of people in a part of this blockchain to validate this transaction. And it's a moving target. So whenever there's a hacker, he has to take out all the transactions you had before in order to get your transaction. If you have a traditional bank, most probably their data, the transaction data are stored in the cloud. So whenever a hacker attacks that bank and accesses this cloud server of the bank, then most probably he will go away with 100,000, maybe 1 million user data. I mean, we experience that daily, and cybersecurity, online security is an issue, is a challenge for every company, for every financial institution nowadays. So using blockchain technology is something that makes it very hard for any hackers to attack that and simply make your payment much more secure. And that is what everyone wants, right? Secondly, the market. I only put here the market as we focus first on the European Union and Europe. So as I mentioned before, over half of this population of 838 million living in Europe are members of the European Union. There are roughly now close to 500 million smartphones used in Europe. And secondly, there are 1 billion payment cards, let it be a credit card or a debit card. So basically everyone is having one card from his bank. And of course, we do have huge companies like Amazon, Facebook with Dime, and also PayPal. They are now planning to go into crypto. So crypto payment and cash payments, if you're able to match both in one solution, I think that is a very winning bet. So how does that work for the cash payment? Very simple. You download our app from Apple Store or from Google Play. You add your existing bank account, or if you have several bank accounts, you add your existing bank accounts. And then when you go to the supermarket, to a grocery store, and you want to pay, when you come to the payment terminal, you simply use your phone and put it to the payment terminal. And there's a chip inside the smartphone called NFC. And that one is communicating like the little chip you have in the credit card. And from there, we go into your bank account. You can set either one bank account by default at the beginning of using it, or every transaction, every time you want to use our payment app, you select the bank account you would like to use. And then we check, do you have sufficient funds? Let's say here is a 15 euros, so basically $17. We check, do you have $17 in your, let's say, HSBC bank account? If that is the case, we initialize the payment. So technically speaking, we're a PISP, that stands for Payment Initiation Service Provider. So that means we initiate the payment and it goes from your bank account to the merchant's bank account. That is very important because we are not part of the payment of the cash flow chain. So we simply initiate it and the cash flow is simply generated from bank to bank as it is today. So that means we do not need any agreement from the merchants, for instance. We do not need any specific agreement from the banks. That is already covered through the open banking APIs with whom we connect your bank account. Of course, that is totally encrypted. So the banks do have security standards. We are not accessing your bank account if you don't want us to do that, right? So that is very simple. And of course, there's also an advantage for the merchant. I don't know if you know that PayPal is having a commission fee for the merchant that is going up to 7%, depending what kind of transaction you have, plus a lump sum of 10 to 30 cents per transaction. So if you have a small transaction here, let's take here the $15 or $17 from the grocery store, and PayPal is taking a 7%, that's an issue for the merchant, right? So our commission fee is 2.5% only. Then the features of the product. So we launch it as of today. We have the DeFi features implemented. So we have a wallet. You can connect existing wallets. Like let's say you have a MetaMask. So if you don't want to use our wallet, so we are simply an aggregator connecting your existing wallets. In the future, you will be able to add your existing bank accounts. And the idea is to manage all that from one app. So we have one single entry point that is totally dematerialized. So we don't need to have any banking cards or credit cards anymore. It's all in your app. And this summer, we are implementing an instant credit tool. So whenever, let's say you go to Walmart and you want to purchase a laptop, that is $500. You could think, okay, I use my bank account, but maybe it's better to use a credit for that. So it's a peer-to-peer platform, and our utility token EPAN, which you could put in the wallet, is used as a collateral. That means that the guarantee for that credit. So you get a loan that could run up to 6 months. And you can use that one to make an instant payment instead of using your bank account. And last but not least, why should users use it? Very simple. Out of the 2.5% commission fee we take from the merchant, we give you back 0.5%. So the 0.5%, so whenever you spend $1 with us, you'd get something back, because we thought we have to have a certain unique selling point, and of course, cashback makes every user happy, right? So a part of our own product that is labeled Paypolitan, we label this as a white label for mobile carriers. So for instance, T-Mobile in the US could use this as a T-Mobile Pay. Why that? Because mobile carriers are in lack of revenues. It was decreasing. Everyone has now a rate, like a flat rate, where you pay like $15. It's all in. They lost all the revenues from SMS, because me personally, I use only WhatsApp. Others use Telegram. And tremendously, mobile carriers lost revenue and margin over the past 2 decades. And in Europe right now, the monthly ARPU is $15 a month. And thanks to our app, we would get the broadest part of the commission fee from the merchants to the mobile carrier. So this could increase the revenue per user by 7%, by $1.10, basically. So, and then, of course, as an investor, you want to know where does it go to. So the benchmark for us is a bit PayPal. They have a volume per user of 100 monthly transaction is 227. So there's an average of 3 transactions of PayPal users. In our business plan, we put $110 transaction and with a monthly ARPU of $2.75. Including then the cashback and the kickback for white label partners, which is 40%. So at the end of the day, we are planning to make a rollout with our own product, which will be a smaller fraction. And the main part will be the white label customers who do know their customers and all, they label it under their brand. So we simply provide the technical solution to them. In terms of revenue, that is very interesting. I couldn't believe it, but a PayPal user has a unique value of $712 US dollars. That is the value of an active PayPal user. We downgraded this to 195. So we made a 76% discount when we built our own business plan for Paypolitan. But you see that is very huge. And investors we are signing up understood that as well. Finance product users do have a very high value, and the return investment is almost guaranteed. So you as an investor, potentially you want to see, okay, I give those guys money, where do they put it, and what will I get back? Last but not least, I think the most important in the project is a team. I once met a VC in Paris, France, and he told me a story of one of the first investments. The company initially, as planned, totally failed, but the team was good. They made a turnaround, took the rest of the money and built something totally different that was a huge success. They even got a public on the stock market. And our team is working together for almost 14 years. My major associate, Marco, is a firm investment banker. Victor, our CTO, I've been working with for 11 years. By the way, I hired him implementing a payment solution for a client. And with Peter, I've been working for almost 14 years. He's our sales director. And Jean is one of the veterans. He's into blockchain since 2008. So he's one of the first ones. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for your attention. And let's switch now to the questions. Ask all the questions. I try to answer them.
Great presentation, Nils. Thank you so much. Let's talk a little bit about your main competitors. Who are your main competitors in the cryptocurrency payment space? And what is a barrier of entry for a competitor? Do you have any process patents on your technology?
Well, the patent, of course, we're applying for it. I'm a trained lawyer, so I didn't learn anything else than doing patents and protecting rights. That is a process, so which we initiated already, but it takes time. Frankly speaking, as we build the product, we don't have a whole competitor. We have partial competitors in some segments, as I mentioned already, PayPal or in Apple Pay, but that is different because Apple Pay, for instance, or Google Pay, there is a credit card. And our solution is totally card-free. So it's totally independent from any credit card. We simply debit your bank account. And as this directive is very new, there is no payment solution yet because you have to implement it. So basically, we're implementing 6,200 retail banks within the European Union, and it takes some time. I think the first competitor to us who is doing the same would enter into activity at the end of this year, or let's say early 2022.
And when do you expect to be tradable on Coinbase?
Well, Coinbase, that is a challenge. We are already traded on Uniswap, Bitforex, and Balixi. So EPAN is already tradable since November. And Coinbase slash another big tier one exchange like Kraken is on the roadmap. So we're working actively, and so more we go down the road and some more traction we get, I think it will be time to go to the next level of exchange in order to promote our EPAN token.
Okay. Another question is, what is the value of a payment app user?
So as I mentioned before in the presentation, PayPal is having a value. PayPal users do have a value of $712 per user. So that is very huge. I remember a friend of mine who is in the board of a major German bank. They purchased a retail bank, and their users, they paid $1,400 per active user. So take it from there, somewhere in the middle it is. And especially we add also the credit part and the crypto part. So that is something very new. I would be very curious, and I'm very interested to see how that crypto part going to be evaluated by future investors.
Well, this is a really important technology, and we really look forward to hearing your updates as this progresses. And thank you so much for your time on our conference.
Thank you very much. And for more information, you have it here. Go on paypolitan.io and shoot me a private message on Twitter or on our website. I'm happy to answer.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nils.
Thank you. Have a great day and a great conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, everyone, remember, as we transition to the next presenter, you're going to see a black screen, but stay with us because we're coming right back.